Okay, so checking out the Marina Beach access path of the air show, where the beach path ends. Okay. So as you can see, there are some vendors here, and there's a lot of vendor-related junk. If you see over here, this strip is completely loose and not nailed down, and can pose a trip hazard. These gaps are intentional. This is for people to branch out and spend some time with their families. So no issues with that. What's this over here? This is broken. Main handrail broken. Someone with low vision, skin can get pinched here. Over there you can see bottommost rail is missing. So again, bad for support. Two unnecessary gaps over here, which need to be closed with all three railings. So if you have gaps there, there's no need to have additional gaps here. I mean, are we trying to help vendors or what? Again, two unnecessary gaps. If you remember, the gaps were there, and the result of a compromise by TRA and the Chennai Corporation. But given that civil society does not seem to be ready to, give way to disabled people, etc., a decision was made to close the gaps in all but three places. So, yes, these need to be closed. Over here, you can see the middle and bottom railing are missing. So the gap has been closed by just putting the top railing, which is not ideal. This is pretty firm, but yeah, people can easily just do that. And that's not a good idea. Here again, middle and bottom rail missing on both sides. Just the top has been blocked. These red and white markings are for people with low vision. It's reflective, so they'll be able to know in the nights. But given that those are no longer going to be gaps that can be removed, look at this terrible. The top rail has completely broken off. This has not been closed. All three railings are missing. And on this side, we have, middle and bottom rails missing. You can see in front again over there. Top rail gap closed off, middle, bottom missing. And over here. And here. Okay, this is really bad, and I have absolutely no idea what has happened. Probably as a result of the air show. Just look at this. I mean, this is literally like 2 years old. Why would you go and mess with something which has been, kind of securely put and not meant to be dismantled and tampered with or experimented with in any way? And yes, the nails are a safety issue. Look at this here. I mean, what is this? Why would you do this? Middle and bottom railings missing. Yeah. And here you have a strip. This is the Ipe, Brazilian Ipe wood, decking material. It's usually nailed down, which is why it was such a difficult feat to kind of remove it in the original plans. And that's why we have been asking for a different treatment for the sea-facing deck, something which is easily dismantleable and replaceable, because Brazilian Ipe wood is way too hard to, kind of experiment like that. Would it have killed you to get the same color, the same material, and replace it? These are small things which minor details maybe, but the aesthetics not matter. These two gaps are intentional. Again, this is for branch out beach paths with Moby mats so that wheelchair users can go and spend some time in the sand with their families and not be restricted to this, which is primarily a place for people to move. We had suggested that some kind of benches be put over here for people to sit down. We've received feedback from a lot of elderly people that they find this area a little tough to negotiate because you have to walk around the fringes, especially if you person who's a little unsteady. So, and then a lot of people have said that they feel tired and would need to take a break. So this a bench over here, which doesn't block wheelchair access, is something which we recommended. Coming up on the left, top and middle railing missing, and this unusual phenomenon of this workaround. Why? My God, this hole over here. And why was there a need? Yes, this is shaky, but you see this in very many places, especially from here onwards. Some kind of back bracing has been done. We have no idea whether the cross bracing at the sea facing deck was done, which is something which you had suggested. It's pure common sense, but no. Yeah, so here you have the result of VIP. What is it called? VIP culture. Yeah. So here's your VIP culture. You could have so easily had this little away from this beach paths, which is, by the way, the only way in which wheelchair users can access the beach in Chennai. Why would you go and have an air show just bang next to it and then tamper with and remove what is supposed to be a continuous way for elderly people who are struggling with mobility to support themselves with the railings? I mean, we've seen people, even with the original one gap, hesitate and, really be cautious and underconfident. Why would you have such a big gap? And it's been so many days. Why have you not repaired this, Chennai Corporation? Instead, I'm guessing Besanagar is all the news. New stuff is all very well, but this is barely 2 years old and the neglect is showing. Just look at this. I mean, what is this? Are we trying to make people fall? Who is going to feel confident of using this? We fought for these railings. This is a design feature which you will not see in beach access paths elsewhere in the country, in the world, because people use wheelchairs more easily over there. Whereas over here, a wheelchair is often the last resort because of public transport and, roads are so unfriendly. So given the number of ambulant disabled people with locomotor difficulties, just messing with this railing is a crime. Look at this. To remove this timber, you've broken the Ipe strips, you've left holes. Now you're going to, kind of replace it, but the integrity has been, ruined. I mean, it's just like doing unnecessary surgery. Every time you do a surgery, some part of your body is never going to be the same. It's fine if something is broken down, but this was completely unnecessary. Okay, right over here, everything missing. Fragment left of the three railings. Back support again over here. Can you see some kind of back support? Can you see this entire railing going in a kind of weird, zigzaggy, wavy way? Here you have again missing railing at the bottom, broken railing over here, two gaps, missing the bottommost railing, two gaps over here again, bottom railing, back support for whatever reason. In comparison, it's not really shaking that much. Back support again. The middle and bottom gap missing. these railings over here tend to trap a lot of plastic. That's not what's happening over here. If you notice, these are sandbags, and this is something we've observed and recommended, especially near the sea facing deck, to put sandbags so that there's less sand getting eroded when there's a storm surge. And secondly, well, the sand moves, right? Nothing is that permanent, so this would be a more stable kind of support. Why it's been put on the sides over here in this most unsightly manner, I don't know. There must be some logic, but we will have to find out. Yeah, here's another VIP gap, brought to you by the powers that be. I think one of this was for the VIP tent and the other was for the medical tent, and some of it was for the press tent. Who knows? See what I mean? Very effective in catching rogue plastic flying around on the beach. So reach the end, there's again one strip somewhere over here, which literally, there's a kind of seesaw thing. Yeah. 2 gaps missing. Hideous blue Chennai Corporation sign. It would be way more useful. And that what? Singari Chennai 2 sign. Way more useful to put something which encourages more responsible path user etiquette as far as disabled people are concerned. Like, don't stand on the railing, don't sit on the railing, don't lean on the railing. It's not meant for that. It's meant to support people who have balance issues, elderly people, crutch users, cane users, not for general janta to lean, sit, stand, do somersaults. Middle gap has been, is missing. Again, if you see, I mean, would you feel confident if you were already shaky to begin with? I don't know. So, this is where the stainless steel railing was completely broken from around here, excuse me, to here, purely for VIPs to get out of the car and walk in a straight line and go to their tent for the air show instead of taking an additional 10 to 12 steps and coming on the ramp which has been provided.